What is up and what is going on? This is Luis Ortega from Excello Marketing, and in this video, we're going to be discussing cold email versus paid ads. Let's get right into it. Here we go. So first thing first, let's define what cold email is and what paid ads is. Cold email is sending unsolicited emails to your prospective customers for you to introduce your product, usually services, and it requires more about like a personalized type of approach in order for them to trigger a response. The way you can get results to this is by sending massive amounts of emails to the right person and also making sure that you're landing on the right inbox. Another factor that you should consider here is when sending cold emails, you have to reach to the right type of person in order for your services to even be considered. Right. Now with paid ads, it's pretty much straightforward. If you're using Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, you're gonna be seeing this sponsored ads that you're gonna be seeing once you scroll. That's the paid ads. You're paying for these platforms to interrupt your audience and show them what you're offering. That's the creative. Either that's a video with your description or a photo with your tagline, whatever it is. You're paying to get in front of them. Okay? Now, the key difference between targeting and personalization, well, in terms of cold email, it heavily relies on the list building that you're doing because you're reaching out to these decision makers of a certain company, for example, and you're trying to figure out who is the best person to reach out to in this particular industry that would get me a response that we can turn into an appointment, that we could turn into a sale. That's how like the process goes. The main problem that most people is facing is that their targeting is wrong. Think about this. If you're constantly reaching out to CEO, presidents, what does those positions do on a day-to-day basis? Are they scrolling around on their email, checking their inboxes? Probably not, because they're busy doing other stuff. But who might be the best person that could still get us to that decision, but is constantly checking their emails because it's part of their job? You could go down to regional managers, directors, CMO, property managers. All of those people and job titles fits the criteria of people who are constantly checking their emails. Okay? Now, with paid ads, it uses data-driven targeting to reach specific demographics and interests. So just for example, I'm doing Facebook advertising. So Facebook has this thing called Facebook interest as a targeting where Facebook will literally bracket audience on a specific interest that they think fits that audience. So for example, if you're targeting agency owners, you can search the keyword that fits that criteria, in order for you to target that specific person. Okay? Now, with personalization, the main difference is this. When you're reaching out to cold email, you're kind of getting into this higher level of personalization, where now that we know that they are part of this company, that they are in this position, that they are working in this city, you can kind of figure out within those factors, now that you're knowing all of that data points, you can now write your email in a custom way where they would seem very personalized in the front of the person that you're reaching out to. And it could really affect the response rate of those people that you're reaching out to. That's the main difference. With paid ads, you have to think of a singular person that fits your target criteria and write the messaging towards that person. So I'm talking about the ideal customer profile. Now the difference between paid ads and cold email personalization is that when you're doing cold email, you have this multiple data points such as job titles, where are they located, how many people is in their company's eyes. So having those data points will allow you to figure out a structure on your email to make it seem that it is personalized on their end. Okay? Now next, you're paying a platform, or Facebook as an example, that you want to run your ads, that you want to target this person, this specific interest, but you don't know any other factors aside from that. So what we usually do is build out an ideal customer profile. What are their pain points? And if you're familiar with copywriting, we use the AIDA method, where we get their attention, we get their interest, figure that out in a strategy where if you could present it to a way where it would still hit their pain points and relate to what you're actually offering, they could click your website or whatever your call to action is, opt in from there, buy your services or your product, and then you can make the conversion from there. Next, what are the advantages of cold email? Listen to someone who's doing both. I'm actually doing both. I'm still running Facebook ads right now. I'm doing cold email, and it is very, very cheap. Now, to tell you, one of the advantages of doing cold email is actually it's very cheap. To tell you a reference, one of the list software where we scrape our emails to is ListGit, and they offer 35 cents, 0.0365 cents per email as of the time I'm checking this. Actually, 0.0395 cents. Okay? That's how cheap it is. That's how cheap it is to reach to a singular person. Now multiply that to however many times you want to reach your audience, or how many audience you want to reach out to. That's it. It's very cost effective. It's very cheap. Okay? Next, relationship building. When you send a personalized cold email to a certain person, you get a direct feedback on what they respond to it. Whether they're not interested, whether, okay, I have this question, can you answer this? Okay, what are your prices? You kind of have a direct feedback to them, allowing you to get this real-time feedback and build some sort of personal relationship, because you're going to respond to those inquiries. Whatever the question is, you can get it answered, which means you're already one step away into booking them to an appointment, them being interested, and turning that into a sale. Right? Next, what about the advantages of paid ads? Well, we have two things: scalability factor and immediate results. So later on in this video, I'm gonna be talking about some questions you could ask yourself before deciding that would allow you to choose between cold email and paid ads. Okay? First of all, scalability factor. You're reaching out to these social media platforms for you to advertise your product or services. Those social media platforms has millions, even billions of users that are using their platform regularly. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you think suits your product or service, you could advertise there. Next, knowing those information would easily allow you to scale once that you have your offer dialed in. What is the creative that works out well for this audience? What ad copy can we use to trigger their pain points? And basically combining all of those factors in making a highly effective advertising. If you got those three things dialed in, you can now, it's just a matter of volumes game. Imagine lighting up a fire and just pouring gas all over it. Literally, that's the term we use, and it's just a matter of time. You just gotta increase your budget to reach more audience, because you now know that this offer works, this creative works, this ad copy works. It's just a matter of time until we reach new audience, sell to them, and make sure that your advertising actually works. Okay? Next, advertising on paid ads is so fast. Okay? You can spend $100 today and get real-time feedback on what your actual data looks like, how the market is reacting to your offer, and see visibility and actually get the leads instantly just on spending like a day. It's immediate. It's very fast. because Facebook is gonna, these advertising platforms is going to place your ad into their platforms, show it to them. You can get the leads instantly. Once they start spending, will be shown to tons of people, and then from there, if they like it, they're gonna be opting in as a lead. You will get the result immediately. So you get the real-time feedback. So much speed. This is the good thing about paid ads. Next, what are the challenges of cold email and paid ads? Let's start with cold email. Now the challenges with cold email would be two things. Main thing is deliverability and also spam concerns. Okay? Now, if you're very familiar with my YouTube channel, I've also created a deliverability checklist to ensure that you're landing on the right inbox, and also spam concerns, so that you, when you're sending massive amounts of volumes of email, you're not landing into a spam folder. Okay? Now, so there's a way to this actually. There's a system in place that you could do, building out multiple inboxes, setting up the technology, and then making sure that they're properly warmed up. So there's actually a fix to this, even though that's a challenge in the beginning especially. The common problem that I'm facing is that, can we send an email immediately? No, you can't. Especially when you're warming up the emails. It's a very important process, and it only happens once when the email has been created, so it can never be skipped. It is very important. Now, let's talk about the challenges of paid ads. First thing is increasing competition. Now that you know that this is a social media platform where you advertise, say for example you're advertising on Facebook. Imagine this as a bidding war, where you tell Facebook that I want to place $50 of budget showing to these people. But the other competitor said to Facebook, I want to pay you $75 to get to target in front of these people. So it's like a bidding war where you're bidding for that position in order for you to get right in front of your ideal customer. Okay? The main challenge is there is that it is harder for you to stand out. So you gotta dial in your creative, making sure that your ad copy also relates to your customer profile, and combining all of those, making sure that you're constantly testing creatives, constantly testing variables, what interest works best, what creatives works best, what hooks will catch their attention. Now that you got those dialed in, you can test out the landing pages. Does it work well with a email opt-in, or does the lead form works? So you kind of have to test those variables into crafting. So it's not going to be easy, especially in the beginning, because there's testing involved, just like with cold email as well. But the difference is, if you spend enough, you're gonna get the data real fast. That's the main difference. Okay? Now next one is ad fatigue. Ad fatigue is basically you showing your video creative or your picture creative to the same amount of people enough times where they no longer react, where they no longer produce results, basically. Okay? There's also a solution to this as well, like making creative variations, testing out new creatives based on the format of that winning creative, and maybe testing out variations, like testing out different thumbnails, adding a banner. Okay? So those kind of stuff. So there's also solution to these challenges. That's why it's called challenges. You can overcome it immediately if you have the right person to do it with you. Okay? Next, on the last part, I've included questions that you can ask yourself before you decide. Okay? First question, do you have a validated offer? You gotta ensure your product or service meets a genuine need in the market before choosing a marketing approach. But what's my recommendation to this? If you answer yes, then sure, go with paid ads, because you have a validated offer. You've already established that people will buy this. So all you gotta do is show it to more people. But what if you don't? But then go with cold email. It's cheap. You can control the volume of amount that you're reaching out to, and you can immediately get feedback on what's wrong with your offer because you're reaching out to individual people. Okay? Next, do you prioritize speed or cost efficiency? It's pretty straightforward. I've mentioned this before. If you prioritize speed and getting data real fast, then go with paid ads. If you prioritize cost efficiency, then go with cold email because it's pretty cheap. You get to target the ideal customer profile that you want to reach out to, and you get real-time feedback. Okay? Lastly, have you got a proven and working system? Although speed is good at some way, sure, you can get speed and get instant results as soon as possible and sign multiple clients. But what are you going to do with those clients? Do you have a proven system and working system to ensure that the clients that you're going to be signing are still going to get results? Because that's on you. That's your responsibility once you sign them. You got to ensure that these people that trusted you with their money would still get results, right? So if you have a proven and working system, then yes, paid ads is definitely for you because you're building a machine. You have a machine where you get the clients by doing paid ads, send the clients into your operation system. Operation system will deliver results for that client, and overall, you and the client will be happy. Win-win, right? Now, if you don't have a proven and working system yet and just wanted to take it slow, figure out one thing at a time, then cold email is the best way because you can still sign multiple clients with cold email, of course, but you're getting them one by one. Now, if you don't have a working system, then I would recommend that you go with cold email. The reason is if you do cold email, you have control on the limit of the number of people that you want to reach out to. Although speed is not a factor here, you're also getting some feedback on what you're currently offering, and you can validate it immediately to the point where you're getting real-time feedback to the first client that you signed in. Offer it into the second client, you get another feedback, and you're kind of optimizing the offer in turning them into a validated offer, which you can now proceed with doing paid ads and doing the constant system. Acquire the customer, send it to the operations, deliver the results, boom, make the client happy, building out a full system. So that's it for this video. And if you are a B2B business owner and you want us to run cold email for you, go to excellomarketing.com, or you may be watching it here right now. Book a strategy call with me. We'll figure out the strategy for you, and if it makes sense for us to work together, we'll get you some leads. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and like, comment down below if you want more videos like this. This is Luis Ortega again. Peace.